The Africa Center for Human Rights and Protection has condemned the report by Reuters accusing the Nigerian army of running an abortion program in the war against Boko Haram in northeast Nigeria. The group made this known while addressing journalists at a press conference in Abuja, said the promoters of Reuters have taken an unwarranted interest in the operations of the Nigerian army in the prosecution of the war against Boko Haram terrorists in northeast Nigeria.
The Nigerian army does not detain women and children victims of Boko Haram onslaught. Instead, it is a known fact that upon securing women and children from Boko Haram camps, these women and children are availed the medical assistance in designated and recognized health facilities, not detention camps as erroneously claimed by Reuters. The puerile attempt by Reuters to paint the Nigerian army in bad light must have stemmed from the recent gains recorded in the prosecution of the war against terrorism, which by all indication is not appreciated by the promoters of Reuters. The report also corroborates the position of several organizations and individuals in the role of France in fueling the Boko Haram conflict in the northeast region. For Reuters to assume that the abortion program had been in operation since 2013 indicates that Reuters have elected to be clever by half. The implication of the action of Reuters is that this imagined abortion program went unnoticed by hundreds of non-governmental organizations working in northeast Nigeria, including reputable United Nations organizations and other humanitarian organizations that have assisted in significant measures in assisting victims of Boko Haram brutality and unarmed civilians. Reuters contradicted itself when it alluded that aspects of the Nigerian army's abortion program remain murky because of the secrecy involved. It is impossible to know precisely how many abortions were done. Interviews and documents suggest the count could be significantly higher than the tally, at least 10,000 cases that Reuters was able to establish. The question thus is, how Reuters arrived at such a conclusion when it claimed that the report was based on 33 women and girls interviewed? This defeats common sense, hence why the report should be discarded in its entirety for lacking in substance. But propaganda aimed at distracting the Nigerian army in the prosecution of the war against Boko Haram in northeast Nigeria. We believe this diatribe against the Nigerian army is petty and aimed at bouncing back to relevance after most of its reportage on the Nigerian army had been faulted or debunked as lacking in merit. Reuters have come to terms with the reality that Nigerians do not welcome or entertain half-truths. The plot is poor, the storyline is kindergarten, and the execution is puerile. It attempted in vain to present a precarious situation, but without realizing that the new attempt at demonizing the Nigerian army is similar to previously failed enterprises.